Hey everyone, Sam Mackay here. So just wanted to go over in this particular video something that I think has become far more important in recent times than it was historically. As Power BI has matured, especially the Power BI online service, we finally have a feature set that is far more optimized for work within an organization. And what I mean by that is you have what I call the workspace layer, right? And then you have the app layer, okay? And so within, there's a few other things like data sets layer, etc. as well, but this is just how I frame it in my mind. And I want to help all those, connected into enterprise DNA. A big part of the success of Power BI is how you actually roll this out, how you actually distribute your insights, and also just how you generally implement Power BI. And so getting familiar with the structure of how the online service, the distribution of your insights is set up within the online service is really essential and has become so much more so than it has been in the past. Now, with your workspaces, first of all, the first thing you need to do is before you really start anything, and I've noticed that this is really important because I've seen so many implementations of Power BI start off with a frantic development of reports, but then a realization that everything is scattered everywhere and there's duplication. If you can just do a little bit of planning initially with your apps and your workspaces, it can really optimize and scale what you're doing later on down the track. And so what you need to think of with your apps is think about your apps first of all. Every single workspace can produce one app. So the thing to think about is, okay, what are the apps that we want to, as a team or as an individual, what apps do you want to see every single day? And then that should determine what workspaces you should be a part of, because you want to be seeing ultimately one app per workspace. I mean, that's how you generally want to be targeting your data discovery within your organization. You want to be able to quickly, within the online service or within Microsoft Teams now, click to Power BI and be able to click into an app and see all the interesting things about that particular area, that particular space. Okay. Now, how I've set this up, and this is just basically leveraging off what we do internally at Enterprise DNA, is that within our workspaces and in combination with our app layer, I've tried to identify, okay, what are the key areas of the business, or what are the key functions of the business that we would want to separate out and then have specific analysis on that particular area. Okay. And so all of these ones that have got a tag of eDNA customers, these other ones around here are just historic ones that I'm looking to close out eventually. But what I've got is I've broken things down by customers. I want to break things out by finance, our internal products, our marketing, our operations, our sales. Right? And if you think about that, I mean, a lot of this is to do with how your organization itself is broken up. Not exactly, but it's similar, right? But these are just the things that you need to have a think about. And think about, okay, well, when I break out all of my workspaces into these discrete groups, well, what is the data that needs to feed into that? What are some of the models that we'll need to build in behind the scenes here? What are some of the reports that we want to come under this particular area? And if you do, and I honestly believe this, if you do a bit of planning here before you dive in and start creating all this, you will reduce the amount of duplication, the amount of additional work and additional resources being put to the same problem by a huge factor, okay? Now, what we've done, and of note, how I came to this particular subset of workspaces is I use the Analyst Hub. So this is an application built by Enterprise DNA for all of ours, for all of those who have a use and connection to us, or have a connection to us in our community and have upgraded to the Analyst Hub. So within here, we have been able to set up our teams very similar to our workspaces, right? So the Analyst Hub is all about productivity and collaboration around Power BI and eventually Power Platform applications. And so what I've done is within my teams, I had this initial team, which was like high level. So this would be like your really like your analytics team. In high level, I within this particular team, I did like a broad overview of like how we want things to work within our organization. Okay, so within my documents here, I created using one of our planner tools. I went through and I worked out, okay, all of the different things in these business areas. So I had my marketing, my sales, my finance, customers, operations, etc. And then within here, I broke down all of the different reports that I wanted to have. So let's say in marketing, we had website analytics, Google Search Console, competitor analysis, analytics keyword, YouTube analysis, backlinks analysis. So these are all of this marketing analysis, and it makes sense. It makes sense if you think about it to have these all in the same workspaces, because what you can do inside of here, inside of marketing, right, is you can think, okay, well, what is the data that needs to go into all of these different reports? Can we create a data flow of that data and reuse it in multiple of these reports? Because there's going to be a lot of carryover between one report and another report in a marketing workspace, right? The same could be for customers. Like, say, for instance, you're in the customers workspace. Think about, you've got and we were able to work this out within by planning it. We were able to say, okay, COE reporting, reporting for surveys, teachable reporting. Like, these are all the software, the software that we use, etc. But I already know just by looking at this that I can say, okay, well, there's going to be a customer table, right? It's going to go into every single one of these reports. Instead of duplicating that data in every single report in the model, what I can do by planning it out like this, I can then come in here and then I can set up like my customers table, and then I've got my dates table here as well. I know that's going to be important, but there's plenty of others. I mean, like there could be like account managers, could be a data flow. Instead of like duplication across multiple different reports, you can really set things up to scale like you wouldn't believe, and it's going to optimize your models, optimize your refresh times, so on and so forth. So these are the sort of things that really make a big difference from a planning perspective. And as I mentioned earlier, I know that if you don't do planning and you don't have some sort of idea or some sort of framework around how you're going to build out your workspaces, it can become an absolute maze. It can become so confusing, and basically you'll basically have the same effect with it, like what most organizations have with Excel, where everyone's sort of siloed off doing their own thing. But if you can get a little bit of collaboration in the tool like the Analyst Hub, that's why we built these things into the Analyst Hub, because this is the missing piece of how you can effectively implement Power BI. You can just speed up what you were doing and prioritize the main things that are going to add value very, very quickly inside of your Power BI reports. One of the other things that we've built in here is, so we've got, this is sort of like our high level team, the Enterprise DNA team. So what I've also done inside of here is I've created an Enterprise DNA dev. So this is for this is a team we've created for our actual developers, for our analysts, right? And our analysts, so in this team, can work across a range of different projects. And check out how I've set up these projects. There's a couple of like additional projects, but within the Analyst Hub, you can create specific projects that I've aligned directly to workspaces, so we can plan out specific workspaces. So we started at a high level, what workspaces do we want to create, and then we can drop down another level to those actual workspaces and then collaborate in just those specific workspaces or in projects in the Analyst Hub related to those workspaces. So for example, I've got my internal products, my sales, my finance, my marketing, my customers, my operations, etc. And so in here, I can click on here and I've got a whole range of documents which are totally related to my internal products workspace. Okay, so I've got planning tools, I've got version controlling, color themes, prioritization tools. I could even put custom code that is related to that particular workspace. Data pipeline planner. This is a data source tool. So again, you can, before you even start, because this is another problem without having a bit of a plan. Before you start your workspace, everyone's just bringing in data, bringing in reports. But if you can like get a bit of visibility over all of the data that is coming in, just plan it out a little bit. Again, you can just be a lot more organized and a lot more scale. You can bring a lot more scale to what you're actually doing inside of Power BI. So that is, that is, in essence, sort of my best practices around how you want to set up your workspaces, or how you want to, the framework you want around your workspaces. And then it was good to also just like do a bit of a dive into the Analyst Hub and show you how you can sort of more effectively plan these things out, and also document these things as you go along, right? And so I think that there's some good ways to use these tools in combination. And that's definitely what we're looking to continue to build out within the Analyst Hub, is sort of close off this circle, close off this loop of what you can do inside of Power BI, but just making sure that you're doing it in the most optimized and scalable way. Okay, so that's all I wanted to cover. Ultimately, you can only have one app per workspace, and so everything within your workspace, you want to be about a similar thing, so that you can roll it up into an app that could be accessed very quickly within your organizations. And I mean, the fact now that you can very quickly access everything within Microsoft Teams, as I've shown before, it's pretty amazing. You walk in the morning, you can chat away with your colleagues, click into Power BI, and all of a sudden you can be inside of your favorite app or your favorite report, and be analyzing the latest insights overnight, or the latest insights for that day. So very, very valuable stuff if done correctly. Okay, that's all. I'm going to round off. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time. See ya. Hey everyone. Thanks for tuning in to Enterprise DNA TV. If you enjoyed the content covered in this particular tutorial, please throw the video a like. It really helps us, and we really appreciate it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Enterprise DNA TV channel. We have a huge amount of content coming out all the time from myself and a range of content creators, all dedicated to improving the way that you use Power BI and the Power Platform. Lastly, check out Enterprise DNA's website. Plenty of resources and further learning that you can access very easily. All the best. Take care.